It's celebration time in Sister Wives land, as viewers are invited to the wedding of the century, the nuptials of Robyn Brown and her fiancé, David Woolley. This is actually the episode we've all been waiting for, as we've watched preparations for the day unfold throughout the season. While Robyn and David are finally taking the leap, Kody's in Flagstaff cutting down a big tree, and having FOMO that he's not invited to the wedding, of course. From public displays of affection to late-night lap dances, this is unlike any other Brown family wedding. But we'll get into that later. For now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to silence your cell phones and take your seats, as the wedding of the century is about to begin on this episode entitled, Love is Patient, Love is Kind. Robyn and David prepare to be married. Wedding preparations are well underway, and Robyn is getting ready with her friends and family. She's bursting with excitement and explains that she and David won't see each other until the ceremony. Robyn's daughters joke about doing their hair in polygamous braids, which is the standard hairstyle of polygamy culture, but Robyn laughs it off and says they'll all just have regular braids. Unclear what the difference is, but we press on. In a confessional, Janelle says Robyn always dreamed of having a big wedding and she supports her. Janelle and her daughters, Madison and Savannah, are participating in the wedding festivities, and Robyn says their support means a lot. In a confessional, Robyn recalls that Kody found an invitation to Robyn's wedding at someone's house, and that they weren't surprised to hear that Robyn was getting remarried so soon. Kody pouts about not being included, and says they'll probably even do the Brown family mosh pit, which he invented. Sounds like a wild time. He also says it's better he wasn't invited because he'd be trying to outdance the groom. We all know Kody loves a dance floor. Meanwhile, David is getting ready with his groomsmen and introducing everyone to each other. They do manly things like shave each other's faces. Speaking of manly things, back in Flagstaff, Kody decides he's going to cut down a large tree that's blocking their view of the mountains. He claims to be excited for Robyn, although he does think they've moved too fast. He wants to get to a place where they're comfortable being around each other one day. Kody begins his tree-cutting endeavor while Robyn watches nervously. She says it's because he won't cut down a tree, and it fell onto their house, so she's worried. Kody admits he's scared to drop the tree as he swings wildly at it with an axe. It's all physics, but I'm not a physicist. The tree eventually begins to drop, but it butts up against another tree, preventing it from falling entirely. Kody's stumped, no pun intended, and his tree-dropping activity is now more dangerous than he previously anticipated. He painstakingly cuts the tree one chunk at a time while Robyn dutifully supports him by standing on the sidelines yelling, "Careful." Then his chainsaw gets stuck in the trunk of the tree, so he starts using a hammer to clumsily try and wedge it out. The tree eventually falls to the ground without falling on another tree or their house, thankfully. Aren't we just so happy for them? Back in Utah, Robyn shows off her wedding makeup and hair to her daughters. In a confessional, Robyn says hearing Robyn was getting married stung, but she hopes that Robyn is happy. Once again, Robyn's daughter Isabel again remarks that David and Robyn are moving fast, but she does believe David really loves her mom. Maddie, Janelle's daughter, weeps with joy at Robyn's fairy tale. She's sad that her dad isn't there, but she loves David for Robyn. Kody says Robyn left with a purpose to find her soulmate, which she did. He also says it's no longer his business. Robyn is excited for her first legal marriage, and that the security of being David's wife is giving her a sense of calm. She takes a minute in the midst of all the festivities to sit and take it all in. She's grateful for everything that brought her here today, which one can assume also means she's grateful even for all the heartache from her years with Kody. Back in Flagstaff, Kody and Robyn talk about Robyn's wedding. When it feels like Kody is going to get a little shady, Robyn gently redirects him. Kody reflects on how life is different now, especially the family he and Robyn are raising. It's smaller, it's quieter, but he says it's beautiful. Then he gets all Kody on us. I got to admit this. I think I need a lot of attention. It's been different to be in a place where I don't get as much. But my children will always be my children, and the door will always be open to them. They've got to come through that door. I'm going to be holding a hand out for that, but I'm going to be holding this hand that's next to me, and I won't let go of that hand. It's all love at Christine and David's wedding. In Moab, wedding vendors prepare the site for the ceremony as the bridal party continues to get ready. Christine's in her dream wedding dress. She's glowing. With the Colorado River flowing and the stunning red rocks providing the perfect backdrop, David walks down the aisle with two of his daughters. Then, the bridal party, all dressed in a matching color palette of brick red, burnt orange, and pale pink, follow him. Except for Truly, who's wearing a purple jumpsuit with her hair dyed purple at the ends to match. Then, it's Christine's turn. Her son Peyton escorts her down the aisle. Her kids describe seeing her walk down the aisle as surreal, and everyone's in tears. Nobody is nervous. It's all love. David's son-in-law, Corbin, officiates the ceremony and says kind words about both Christine and David. The two repeat their vows and passionately kiss. And we mean passionately. It's a full, open-mouth kiss, but it feels right for these two crazy kids. After the vows, they do family photos, which takes a long time in a plural family. Janelle is included in the photos, a beautiful gesture and sign of their forever connection. Mary comes out to play. After a commercial break, we're in Parowan with Mary, who has been largely absent this episode. It's Halloween, and Mary wants to decorate the bed and breakfast to honor her grandmother, whose birthday is on Halloween. Mary says they never celebrated Halloween, but she's embracing the spirit this season and decorating the house to be spooky and haunted. She even hauls out some dried flowers she'd saved from the recommitment ceremony she had with Kody back in Vegas. They use those flowers to decorate some headstones, which feels right. Mary and her friends go all out with the decorating, and Mary says it's like rediscovering who she is and being celebrated for it. Mary wasn't invited to Christine's wedding, but she wishes Christine the best. I want her to have the love that she didn't have when she was married to Kody. Christine and David make out, embarrass kids, back to the wedding, and the reception is in full swing. Under a large tent, Christine and David party with their guests. They do their first dance, which David is nervous about because he's not the best dancer, and he recently hurt his back going down a slide with his grandkids. But he's a good sport, and the dance goes off without a hitch. The party continues, with the guests laughing and dancing, but in a confessional, Kody admits he feels left out. Kody always needs to be the center of attention, even on his ex-wife's big day. It's best he wasn't invited. Robyn says the wedding is the closing of a chapter. Again, she says she just wants Christine to be happy. David and Christine's guests devised a flash mob, orchestrated by Christine's sister, so everyone surrounds them in a choreographed routine. Christine says it was like a dream come true. Then the couple cuts their cake and gently feed each other pieces. No cake smashing happening at this wedding, which is a relief. They also make out. A lot. Isabel says her parents never showed affection in front of the kids, so Christine and David's overt displays of affection are a change of pace for them. Everyone lets their hair down as night settles, and as Aspen says, dancing is very important to the Brown family. Dancing the night away is a perfect way to end the party. Kody will no doubt be devastated to hear son Gabriel's assessment of the night. The night can't end without a special dance, and Jared, one of David's friends, performs a silly lap dance for David. Christine, of course, can't let Jared be the only one giving David a lap dance, so she hops in at the end, while her kids watch with a healthy dose of happiness and embarrassment. Janelle jokes that she's never seen Christine act like this, especially given the conservative culture they came from. But she loves that Christine is comfortable with her love for David. Christine, however, blames the lap dance on the alcohol. She's still happy she did it, though. She loved showing off her love. It's clear that from now on, Christine Woolley will love openly and out loud, and with zero regrets. For more reality show coverage, visit our hub page. Episode 18 of Sister Wives airs on January 19 on TLC, and the following day on Max. In the world of Sister Wives, Christine Brown has long been a fan favorite. Over the years, viewers have watched her navigate the highs and lows of her polygamous marriage with Kody Brown. While she may have initially joined the Brown family with hopes of a traditional happy marriage, over time, Christine's journey has been anything but typical. As her relationship with Kody slowly unraveled and she found herself distanced emotionally from him, Christine began a personal transformation that eventually led her to the ultimate moment of self-empowerment, her fairy tale wedding. Sister Wives Season 19 Episode 17 marked a monumental moment for Christine, her chance to have a fairy tale wedding. After years of being in a marriage that never quite lived up to her expectations, this episode was not only a celebration of Christine's love, but also a symbol of her newfound independence and strength. This was her moment to shine as the star of her own story, leaving behind the confines a life that had often left her feeling less than valued. A new beginning for Christine. Christine Brown's relationship with Kody Brown had been a long and complicated one. As the third wife in a polygamous marriage, she struggled to balance her love for Kody with the realities of being one of several wives. Over the years, Christine grew increasingly frustrated with the unequal emotional connections that Kody had with his other wives, especially with Robyn, his fourth wife, who seemed to receive more attention and affection. Despite her best efforts to keep the family together, Christine began to feel like a second-class wife. The emotional neglect and the sense that Kody was always prioritizing his other wives left her feeling lost and unimportant. After nearly 3 decades of marriage, Christine made the brave decision to leave Kody, embarking on a new chapter in her life. The decision was not an easy one, especially considering the sacrifices she had made for her family over the years. But in the end, Christine knew it was the right thing to do for her own happiness and well-being. By the time Season 19 Episode 17 aired, Christine had not only separated from Kody, but had also found new love. She began a relationship with David Woolley, a man who treated her with the kindness, respect, and love she had always wanted. The couple's relationship blossomed quickly, and Christine found herself happier than she had been in years. David was everything Kody had never been for Christine. He was attentive, supportive, and truly loved her for who she was. Their connection was deep, and it seemed as though Christine's fairy tale had finally begun. The fairy tale wedding. As Christine prepared to marry David, the audience knew that this wedding was going to be different from any wedding she had experienced before. This was Christine's opportunity to have the wedding of her dreams, something she had always longed for but never received during her years with Kody. The wedding had all the makings of a fairy tale. A woman who had endured so much emotional hardship, finally getting to live out her dream, surrounded by the love and support of those who cared about her. The excitement surrounding the wedding was palpable. From the very beginning of the episode, it was clear that this was Christine's moment. She had envisioned this day for years, and now that it was finally here, she was ready to step into her new life with David. There was no more compromise, no more settling for less than she deserved. This wedding was about Christine, her happiness, and her future. Christine's wedding planning process was filled with joy and excitement. The once distant vision of a perfect wedding became a tangible reality as she put together the details: a beautiful dress, the perfect venue, and a celebration that would mark the beginning of her new life. For Christine, the wedding wasn't just about the outward appearance of the event, but about the symbolic importance of it. She was not only marrying the man she loved, but also closing a painful chapter of her life with Kody. The wedding was an outward manifestation of her emotional transformation, from a woman who had felt unloved and unsupported to one who was finally embracing her worth. The emotional weight of the day. While the wedding day was a celebration of Christine's happiness, it was also filled with emotional weight. For years, Christine had been part of a family where her happiness often took a backseat. Her emotional journey was not an easy one, and there were moments when she doubted whether she would ever experience the love and respect she deserved. Even as she prepared for her wedding to David, there were lingering questions about what her new life would look like and how it would impact her relationship with her children and the rest of the Brown family. Christine's children, especially her daughters, played an important role in her wedding day. They had witnessed the painful end of their mother's marriage to Kody and were thrilled to see her happy again. The bond between Christine and her children had only strengthened as she made the decision to leave Kody. Her children's support was evident throughout the wedding preparations, as they helped their mother with the details of the event and celebrated her joyfully. Their presence reminded Christine that, despite the challenges she had faced, she had created a loving and supportive family that would always be there for her. At the same time, there was the question of Kody's role in the wedding. Although Christine had long since parted ways with him, there was no denying the shared history between them. The wedding day inevitably stirred up some emotions about their past, but Christine was resolute. This was her day, and it was about her future. Her previous marriage had left its scars, but she had worked hard to heal and move forward. She no longer needed Kody's approval or validation. This wedding was a representation of her self-worth, and she was ready to embrace it. Kody's reaction. While Kody's emotional involvement in the wedding was minimal, it was impossible to ignore his place in Christine's life story. For years, Kody had been a central figure in her life, and his reaction to her wedding was something fans were curious about. As expected, Kody's feelings about Christine's marriage to David were mixed. While Kody had moved on in his own way, it was clear that Christine's decision to marry David represented the final end of their relationship. For Kody, this was a reminder that his polygamous family was no longer the same. Christine had moved on, and her new chapter was one that he could not control. Kody's reaction to Christine's wedding was, at best, distant. He did not attend the wedding, and his thoughts on the matter were not directly shared in the episode. But viewers could sense that Kody's inability to fully support Christine's happiness was a reflection of the emotional and relational distance that had developed between them. In many ways, Christine's wedding to David was the symbolic finality of her marriage to Kody. Christine's transformation. Christine's wedding was not just a physical celebration. It was a reflection of her profound emotional transformation. Over the years, Christine had gone from a woman struggling with the challenges of a polygamous marriage to one who had embraced her independence and newfound sense of self-worth. Her fairy tale wedding wasn't about an extravagant ceremony or the perfect dress. It was about her reclaiming her happiness and taking control of her narrative. Christine had learned that she was deserving of love, respect, and happiness. She was no longer defined by her past struggles or her role within the Brown family. Instead, she was free to live her life on her own terms, and her wedding was the culmination of that freedom. The joy and excitement that Christine exuded on her wedding day were palpable. She was finally in control of her own future. A new chapter. As the episode came to a close, it was clear that Christine had found the love and happiness she had longed for. Her fairy tale wedding wasn't just about her marriage to David. It was about her journey to find herself. It was a celebration of her strength, her resilience, and her unwavering belief that she deserved to be loved fully and completely. The episode resonated deeply with viewers, many of whom had followed Christine's journey for years. For those who had seen her struggle in the shadow of Kody's other marriages, her wedding was a moment of triumph. It was the story of a woman who had been through heartache and uncertainty, but had emerged stronger, happier, and more self-assured than ever before. Christine's fairy tale wedding was a symbol of the power of self-love and independence. It showed that even after years of hardship, it's never too late to find your happily ever after. And for Christine, her wedding was just the beginning of a beautiful new chapter in her life.